Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
And today we are joined by a special guest, Laura Geller. She's founder of Laura Geller Beauty. Grandma was very happy about
Very
this
excited.
one.
I was very excited because I remember her from her store on Lexington Avenue.
Right.
And where I used to wander in and get a little rouge and get a little stuff.
And I think that was 1993 that the studio was open for the first time. And then in 97, she really had her own line and really transformed the beauty industry. So Laura, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I was equally as excited to come.
Good.
I mean, I've been watching your podcast since you started it.
Well, that's what we need. Loyal watchers.
Yes.
We're very excited.
So great. And
Thank
you
you.
get information that made me a little nervous about being here. So I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean?
No.
Well, 'cause you get the tea, like at the end, those questions.
Oh, the dating
yeah,
questions?
baby.
Not to worry. You're never wrong.
Yeah, you can't lose. You can't fail the test.
The truth is I don't have any tea to give, so I wish I did.
Okay.
I love the use of tea also. Like, Grandma, you need to start saying that more.
I have
Spill
to
the
start.
tea.
Nobody in my group will know what I'm talking about. They'll think, oh my gosh, you can't think of her letters now. I'm losing it completely. But Kim, Laura is a titan of what she does. And I was telling her I want about 20 vials of it. She's got a primer that I've become addicted to. So we'll get into that later
we'll
on.
get into all the products. Laura, we have a lot in common because we're New Yorkers. We also are obsessed with two things, beauty and Broadway.
Oh, yes.
Yes, all three of us.
All three
So
of
you
us.
started your career as a makeup artist on Broadway, right?
Yeah, I fell into it. I mean, I worked in a store by City Center on 55th Street that was a makeup store that serviced the theater and film industry.
Mm-hmm.
I had studied theater and film makeup, but it's not really what I wanted to do. But all these costume designers and Broadway people would come in, and then I got discovered by a famous costume designer who worked with the biggest producers on Broadway, and she would bring me in to correct problems with the lead cast.
Interesting.
And so I found myself doing Broadway before I knew it.
So what would be a problem? Like they're shiny or what?
Yeah, no, like for an example, there was a show called The First.
Okay.
And it was about the Jackie Robinson story. And the lead, Annette McKee, who was playing, was a beautiful black woman, but she wasn't quite dark enough to play Jackie Robinson's wife. So they needed me to come in because in Broadway, there's no budget for makeup. So she had to do her own. And I had to teach her how to do it and supply her with the right products.
Still people do their own makeup?
Wigs, no, they have hair, but still people do their own makeup, unless you're in Wicked.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting because when we went, now that I'm thinking, I want to know why. Because when we went down, Kim and I went to QVC down in
Westchester.
in Westchester,
Pennsylvania.
and we did our own makeup. And I said, I don't understand this. Why aren't they making us up? And I think, is there a legal reason or?
COVID.
It's COVID.
No, but Broadway was different.
Yeah.
Oh, Broadway was
No,
different.
that stopped. They used to have a salon at QVC
Yeah.
with makeup artists
Right.
and hairstylists, and it stopped at
Oh,
COVID.
that's
'Cause
interesting.
I worked in news for a few years and as a reporter, and they would do my makeup. They had someone in-house there, but Broadway with such lights, like you would think that's when you really need true makeup artists.
and good makeup,
And good
the
makeup.
right kind of makeup. No, I think that there's really no budget for it, but I think if you're a lead and you're like a top lead, you could probably either
They'll-
hire or
right.
they'll furnish somebody for
Exactly.
you. But for the rest of the cast, they all have to do their own.
Wow.
So then from there, then
so
where did you
I was
go?
doing.
This is a good story. I like this.
I then was discovered by, you may know who this is because he was a New York legend, Professor Richard Brown from the New School.
Okay.
He taught a film class, and he wound up having a show called Reflections of the Silver Screen, and he used to come to that store to get made up, and he liked the way he looked when I did his
Okay.
makeup,
Yeah.
so he
Alright.
always wanted me with him. So he took me to Hollywood,
Right.
and I worked on this show, and I worked with, if you could imagine, Audrey Hepburn,
Oh my gosh.
Robert Mitchum,
Right.
Paul Newman.
Those
I
were the
mean,
stars, Kim.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
no, the late greats, some of the legends, and so I have a body of work. And all the while I knew that something was missing. It sounded good to say I worked on
Right.
Audrey Hepburn, but what I really loved was doing makeup on real women.
Right.
And seeing them come alive.
And feel good about
feel good
themselves.
about
And it's still
themselves.
happening today.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, if you're going through a tough time, you're going through an illness, to put a little bit of makeup on makes you feel so special.
so
And it really
good,
does.
so
And
good.
really it's not that difficult. And you teach that, which is
I'm an
very-
educator
yeah,
when it comes to makeup.
which is very good.
Yeah.
So do you think doing a star's makeup, their reaction is different than like the average woman, let's say, like because they're used to seeing themselves done so much that you don't see that like impression? Or do you think for everybody
It's funny that you said that, because what would happen is if they were about to go on TV, they were just happy somebody was there to do their makeup. If I had done them more than a few times, some of them would say to me, Laura, you need to teach me how to do this because I can't have you all the time.
Right.
And they care very much about looking good even when they weren't on TV and film.
course.
Otherwise, they had people like me at their disposal. So they never really had to worry about it.
Right.
I didn't get that reaction from them that I got from my real clients.
Okay, got it. And then nowadays, if they don't get one-on-one time with you, like if they're not a personal client of yours, how do you try to teach people to do makeup? Is that something you do online, or how do you kind of reach the masses?
Kim, I love that you just asked that. I still keep getting asked if I can do someone's makeup. Even from my clients back in the day, now their daughters or granddaughters are getting married. Could you do a wedding? I don't do makeup anymore.
Right.
Okay.
I stopped doing
I
private.
think you've graduated. You've graduated. So I mean, you're
I miss
entitled.
it.
But it's fun to be in touch with
Yeah.
with somebody
But
on
to
a
your-
personal
To
thing.
Kim's point, I was thinking how could I help?
Yeah.
Like, what could I do online? I mean, beside QVC, I feel like I teach, but it's
Absolutely.
not one-on-one.
Right.
And so could I do something like people ask me, can you recommend a blush for me? Can you tell me what lipstick
Right.
I should wear? Like, I don't have the time or the wherewithal to talk to the millions of people that we have following us.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know. There's got to be a way.
There
I
is
can
a way,
parlay
I'm
that.
sure. You're going to have to put that's going to be the next thing you're going to think of, because it is something to be able to reach out and really teach them even if you do it online.
Yeah.
You see these young girls on TikTok
yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
showing how to do it, but if you do it with your
One-on-one,
products,
though.
well, one-on-one is hard.
That's gonna be
gonna be
hard.
Why
hard.
does it need to be one-on-one if it's just overall tips? Because every face is different?
Yes.
Or okay.
And everybody's needs are different.
Right.
Right.
I remember when I had the store and we had private makeup rooms. If you would have come in, I could size you up in less than 5 minutes and know who you were and what you'd be willing to do on a daily basis.
Okay.
And I would teach my staff, I'd say, you have to understand people, because if she's not a person who wears a lot of makeup,
Right.
please don't put a lot of makeup on
Right,
them.
exactly.
So it's different to teach it. Maybe they'll pick up a tip or two. I'm sure I've been helpful. I've heard it many times, but one-on-one is different.
Yeah. So can you share a little bit about how you started your own line and any of the challenges along the way and kind of how you overcame them?
How much time do you have? Challenges. I think we all listen. Anybody
We
in
all have
business,
challenges.
It's
Yeah.
all. We all have the same stories, very similar stories. What happened for me was I opened that store in '93, and I was busy. And then when 1996 came, I ran into the head of beauty at QVC, and she said, I've heard about you. You've been in the press. I'd love to think about bringing you on QVC. How would you feel about that? And I was hyperventilating
Yeah.
because I knew what QVC could do. It was a game changer.
Right.
So when I started going on QVC in 1997, then they would give me orders that were so big. I would never have imagined getting an order for 5,000 units of
Right.
something.
Of course.
I mean, I was ordering 36 pieces of one color, and now I was getting an order for 5,000. So I knew I can create products, and I did it based on the needs that I saw were happening with my clients in real time. Spackle was born from I worked
My
on
favorite thing in the whole
Yeah.
world is the spackle now.
I worked, and she's still in news. She's a very famous newscaster. She has a show that's still on, and I was her backup makeup artist. And I birthed Spackle because of her, because she would say, I need a little more than makeup. I hope you have some Spackle in your kit.
Right.
And I was like, what if I came out with a product that was like a magnet for makeup but didn't break it down?
Right.
And now she wants royalties.
Wait.
She really does.
Can I ask something
Yeah.
kind of dumb?
Nothing's
Is
done.
spackle and primer the same thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've never heard anyone say spackle until today.
No, because it's on the. That's what it's
I thought
on
it says
the.
primer on the bottle.
It does. It says
Yeah.
spackle
But-
under makeup.
Right, but I call it spackle.
I think that might be a generational thing because I've honestly never heard spackle.
Wait, do you know what spackle is?
no.
So give us a tutorial. Tell us.
Wait, no, spackle for the walls. It's a paint.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
It's
It's
used
used
to
it's used to fill in imperfections.
Okay, I
so that
see.
that's why you don't need it. But
Definitely
somebody
not.
as you age and become more mature,
Mm-hmm.
your skin is not like it is when you're in your 20s and when you're in your
But everyone
early
wants
30s.
to look airbrush.
Yeah, but this is different. This fills in areas,
Yes.
and then you can put whatever you want over it, and it really becomes magic. And it
Yeah.
really, there are some primers or spackles that are better than others.
That's
Right.
true.
And Laura's is the best.
Thank
I
you.
have now tried many,
Oh,
and I
my goodness.
absolutely think it's the greatest.
It's really formulated
Yeah.
for the right reasons.
Right.
There's so many primers on the market. If I had only known I was one of the first to come to market, I would have patented it. I would
Right.
have done everything to
Yeah.
trademark.
Right.
I mean, the name spackle nobody else can use.
Right.
Which is
Oh.
I had to buy the rights.
Right.
Who knew? I named it Spackle, and then the paint company that owns Spackle for the walls, it's like a putty, contacted me and said, "You have to buy the rights to use the name in
Oh, wow.
beauty."
Okay.
So I bought the rights.
Right.
So
And
you're the only one who makes a spackle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Other
Got
people
it.
make it called primer.
Yes,
Called
correct.
That's
right.
probably
Right.
why I know the word primer.
I'm glad you told me you never heard of it because I just assume everybody heard of it. I mean,
All right. Well,
Obviously, I've used your products, but I guess maybe I don't pay attention to that word as much as
Yeah,
I did the other
yeah.
words on the bottle.
Yeah,
I don't know.
understood. It's
It could
okay.
just be me.
no,
No,
it's not just
not
you.
just
It's
you.
not, for sure.
How has your vision of Laura Geller beauty changed since the 90s to now?
Well, oh my gosh. What I learned, I'm on QVC 27 years. I think we're the longest standing color brand on QVC right now. And I think what sets me apart and hasn't changed from the beginning of time is educating. I don't feel comfortable telling you what to use unless you understand how to use it. And really listening to the feedback. I sneakily go on boards and read reviews and I address it. So, some things have changed. We're not doing 3 things the way we used to. I used to have a face chart. It was deducing the hardest thing to
I
know.
remember that face chart. You even had it on Lexington Avenue.
I
I
did.
got a piece of paper, and I was so bad with makeup. So I've gotten better at it since I hang out with you. But I would have the eyeliner up here, and the color was
Oh my
over here. It was terrible. It was an awful. It was a
showed
mess.
you where to apply every.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It was like paint by number.
Yeah,
Exactly.
honestly, that's very helpful.
You know, and I think even for someone like you who doesn't wear a lot, it
Yeah.
is helpful.
Absolutely.
But I think, listen, there are places that are doing those kind of things today.
But very few.
But very
Very
few.
few.
We
They
were
don't
really-
take as much interest as you have.
Thank you.
in
We were
in
ahead of
doing
our
that.
time,
Yeah,
I think, a
you
little
really
bit,
were.
Gail. We
I think
were.
so.
I also think people now on TikTok, I see this all the time, kind of try to mix up the formulas, not of the makeup, but usually obviously you would put foundation and then blush. Now people are underpainting. So they'll put blush on and then the foundation over.
Yeah, but that's very good if you really know what you're doing.
So you don't like that technique.
I just have a problem with everybody trying to create something different that doesn't make a difference in the end. I mean, for me, I know that there's certain things that you do with makeup and it's all going to look the same in the end, in the wash.
Right.
So there was a moment, I'm sure not baked because we bake our products in Italy, but where people bake
people
their
are baking,
face,
yeah.
baking their face
What do you mean baking your face?
With powder.
with powder.
Oh.
I mean, Gail, they put so much powder, with puffs all over their face.
But what was the purpose of that?
It was to make your makeup last longer,
Oh, I
but it was
see.
heavy coverage.
Well, maybe that's very good for the girls on TikTok, but a normal person going to the supermarket
That's right.
doesn't need to have a ton of powder
That's
splashed
right.
on their face. And I think this is the thing that our audience loves about the two of us. We're not talking about the 25 people who are having a profession of putting on makeup. We're talking about the the young girl or the grandmother or the mother who's out there who wants to look nice, and this is where your product comes in.
That's right.
It can be done easily, it can be done effortlessly, and
Thank you.
it doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, the girls that we're looking at on TikTok when we do look, they are professionals in what they're doing. They know exactly where to put everything. Most people don't know how to do
Yep.
that. So I think that's a big difference. And I think, what I find fascinating, and I was going to say it, I have a 13-year-old granddaughter. I have older grandchild, but she's the baby. She knows how to put makeup on.
Oh my gosh.
I was so amazed when my daughter-in-law said she's taking her to a beauty shop, a pharmacy place where they only sell makeup, one
Yeah.
of these emporiums.
Yes.
And I said, what is she going to do there? She was 12 years old. She said, oh, the kids just stand
Wait,
there.
no, it's
and they
like Sephora is like the hottest
Yeah.
party now.
That's
I
Wait,
can't
they have
believe it.
parties in
No,
Sephora?
I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm like every
I never
young
heard-
person
That'll be
want-
next.
Yeah,
Right.
I know exactly.
They
They
just
all
got
want to
the
go
idea.
hang out at Sephora.
I know. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Is
did
that
you-
what you're talking
That's
about?
what I'm
But
saying.
you didn't do that when you
No.
were 13.
No.
I mean, maybe
She wasn't
it was
even
fun
didn't
to
even
take a
use
trip once
you
in a
didn't even use a lot any makeup except for a little
Definitely
bit of
not
mascara.
until
You were
end of
almost a
high
senior.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the
Not
You
13.
didn't need it anyway.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't. Nobody. They used to use a little bit of lipstick.
Yeah.
And a little blush.
most, yeah.
That was it. But now they know how to. They know how to do
Oh,
everything.
they can teach
and they
everybody.
can. It's amazing.
well-
So I was laughing. This is definitely the business to be in, Laura. You're in the right
I
business.
want to tell you, I started way before the World Wide Web.
Right,
And
exactly.
now we see what's happening
Yeah.
with the blow-ups and things going virtual.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
it's a
the
different world.
opportunity to really get your product out there.
Yeah.
Now we're not advertising to the respectfully, I'm just saying, because they're my friends, the beauty editors.
Yeah.
I used to work with
You have
all
to-
the magazines.
You advertise to the phone.
Yeah.
The whole thing is
Yeah.
the phone. We've
It's
had this
true.
conversation at dinner. My husband, my granddaughter.
Well, I guess this is sort
everything
of
is
something
the phone.
we were
It's generational.
disagreeing on because
Why?
by saying, I mean, at our family
had a
dinner,
dinner.
there was a little like tiff of everyone being like, "You're all obsessed with your phones." And
Well,
who-
but
and
that's a generation.
But when and you saying it's for the phone isn't true. Like it's not going into a cloud. It's like for the people who are watching it.
No,
It just-
I understand that.
Yeah,
but
but you keep saying like, "Oh, it's the phone." It's not the phone.
we're having
So
a
I
moment
would
of
say it's the phone.
disagreement.
What would it be if it wasn't
It's the
phone?
people watching.
But they're watching the
the
phone.
phone.
They're not going to a
No, but
Vogue
they're
magazine.
Whether you're reading it through a magazine tutorial or you're watching it, you're still like consuming the tutorial. It's not like you're just staring at a screen of nothing.
No, but what we were saying, and this is semantics now, Kim. People are now much more involved with putting advertisements on the phone, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Well, it's
That's
reaching
what
more
it's
people
reaching
than the
more
magazine.
people.
So I don't think it's a
Exactly.
negative.
So
it's not a
it's
negative.
not.
It's just a different
Yeah.
way
It's
of
different.
thinking. It's a different way of thinking, and it's also consumerism gets to everybody very quickly. Where before
right.
you had to look at an ad, perhaps in a magazine or perhaps on TV. We've eliminated those really by and large. They're looking at their phone
Yeah.
and they're getting the information.
I used to do desk sides. My
Right.
PR person is here; she knows, and they would take me to Hearst, and I would sit in front of
Right.
Bazaar
Right.
and Vogue, and we'd have to ask this question: when's your deadline?
Yeah.
And they
Right.
and so then we knew that what product could it be? Now it's
It's
instant.
instant. It's
Instant.
instant. Exactly. And that's a very big difference. It's
Yeah.
it's also instant gratification.
Yeah.
So you get the
Absolutely.
product within if you're buying it
that's
on
true,
Amazon or
too.
you're getting it through a
By
thing,
the
you're
way,
within
that's so
24 hours,
true.
you've got the makeup in your house or whatever product you're buying. So it's a very different world, and we have to. People my generation are getting slowly to understand it.
Yeah.
It's a little harder
For
for people over 50 to quite grasp it. But I think we're all doing it now.
But
we're
I'd have to
doing it.
imagine from the business and the brand perspective, it's great because if people are just clicking from pressing one button and buying,
It's
you're going to make
wonderful.
more
Yeah,
sales.
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. I mean, in truth be told, our .com is the biggest store we
Right.
have.
Right.
And it's just you cut out the middleman. It makes total sense.
Absolutely.
I was at the beach, and there was a very famous influencer, Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
And
ask me. I don't know one person.
It was a girls' weekend. I had like 5 friends over. It was my birthday weekend.
Okay.
And they all start coming in my room, talk about an older generation. We're in our mid-60s.
Right.
Coming in going, what's this serum blush? I'm like, what are you talking about? Somebody's just showing
Now,
online
see?
your serum blush. I said, I didn't even know she was showing it.
Yeah.
And they were
right.
like, would you have it with you? Can I try it?
Well,
And-
that's right.
Wow.
That's
and we sold
right.
out that
Of course.
night.
Yeah.
Of course.
She's a huge.
But that's what
creator, but-
happens
Yeah.
with the phone, and this is part of why products such as yours want to go on it, and
Yeah.
and they're right. I mean, it's because you see
Well, and you
an
want
audience
influencers
all
to be
over the
using it
world.
because they're the
Right.
ones with followers.
Right. But
as
even
well.
when we advertise certain things, they want that immediately.
Yeah.
It's what they
But
see
don't
it
you
on
think
you.
that's like a woman's thing? Like we all want to give each other tips.
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, where'd you get the top? You
Right.
know, like I
Yes,
love it
no
on
question.
you.
Absolutely.
That hasn't changed.
No.
It's just a
It's
bigger
just easier
breadth
to
of
do it.
people that you can reach now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Interesting. So, if you had to have your like few products that you always had with you, your favorites, what would they be?
Oh, that's a good one. My Kajal eyeliner pencils, because they do not move once you put them on. I mean, they don't move. And don't ask me what's in it. I mean, I know it's safe for the eyes,
Okay,
but
good.
when you put them on, you can go do hot yoga. I don't know if you do that, but
Right.
you know.
Okay.
You could do anything. And then the other one would be I know what I use every day, my spackle, obviously,
Yeah.
my primer. And then I developed something for the eyebrow that nobody in the world has, and I can't believe it.
Okay.
And it's an eyebrow pencil, but it's powder.
oh,
And
interesting.
so it's really, it's called Bravo Brow. No, it's like insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no brows. This is all pencil.
it's very
And-
natural.
Yes, very natural. And then, I mean, they're all my favorite children.
They're her
It's
babies.
hard.
Yeah, I
They're her
know.
babies.
It's so
They're her
hard.
babies. But when you're thinking about 3 products you put in your purse every day.
Yes, those.
Yeah.
Well,
Those are
Bravo
your-
Brow, I keep at home. I don't
Right.
need to. So it would probably be Blush and Brighten, and then the Kajal and one of my Jelly Bomb lipsticks because they're very soft.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's
That's a good
perfect
question.
thing.
I like that.
Okay,
question.
That is a
good.
good question.
That's
Kim.
challenging.
we always like doing the what's in your bag type
Oh, well,
thing.
what's in my bag? She's always looking at what's in my bag. There's nothing good in my bag. Nothing.
Yet those videos do very well.
They do very well. They all want to know: do I have a special comb? Do I have a? There's nothing great in the bag.
Oh, not just makeup. What's
and
in
the
your
drawer.
bag with
What's in the
anything?
bag? What's in the drawer?
Yeah. Like we always
what
like
could
to
be in
look,
my drawer?
look what's in her fridge. Like people are just curious.
They're curious
Really?
about
Yeah.
lifestyles.
I'm
yeah.
glad you're not at my house.
Gosh.
You'd open up the fridge and see that yesterday I bought 6 pints of Haagen-Dazs for my kid because they were on sale at Morton Williams.
That's very good. I like that.
Oh my God, they were $3.99.
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
have to tell you, for Mother's Day, I got 6 containers of
Anita Gelato?
No,
Oh,
he
I thought
sent it to me
I thought
from,
it was.
from someplace in the Midwest. What's the
Oh, from-
Graders ice
Oh,
cream?
somebody
And
sent
it
that to me when I was pregnant
It came
once.
in a
tub.
In a tub, and but this is the story. Now forget the ice cream
Wait,
was
who sent this
wonderful.
to you?
My son. So now I open it up with a box cutter because it's very hard to get it out of the
Very.
thing.
Yeah.
And there's dry ice. Did you ever have to get rid of dry ice?
Oh.
I didn't know what to do. I put it in the sink on Sunday, and I turned the water on, figuring it was going to melt. All of a sudden, out of the sink came smoke. I thought I was having a bar mitzvah in my kitchen. The smoke
Like a
was
fog
a
machine?
fog
Like a
machine.
fog machine.
So now I had to say, how am I going to get rid of this dry ice? This took about 20 minutes. I finally realized you just throw it away. It doesn't really,
garbage.
it doesn't really dissolve. It's like
You would
it's
think
like
it would
something
have
that comes from
instructions.
Mars.
I
I
know.
have no idea what's in dry
Wait,
ice.
Was it the tub like that you see in an ice cream store?
No. It comes.
Oh.
They come in the individual containers, but they
Oh.
put it in a styrofoam.
I understand to ship it. No, I
delivery to
understand.
ship it.
Got
No, they
it.
sent it to me in a
Right.
tub
Oh, in
like
a
that
tub.
you see in
Oh,
an
my
ice cream
God.
store. I
Well,
said,
then
what
you
am
have
I
to
doing?
You have to open a whole concession.
They sent it to my store when I was
Well,
pregnant.
that's fine.
And I was telling people go buy
Go
some
scoop it out.
Tupperware
Yeah.
and scoop it out. Take
exactly.
it home.
Well, that's fun.
We were talking, I guess, before about younger people using the makeup. And when you think about your brand or just the beauty industry in general, I guess, how do you think the beauty standard has changed over the years since you've been in the business?
Like I was saying before, I think people aren't looking to do a whole thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember when I taught the makeup lessons, it was, a lot of steps.
Right.
Speaking of steps, our dear friend Adrienne Orpel,
Right.
she was my first job.
Right.
And I remember that she had a slogan, what you don't use, you don't sell.
Right.
So use it all.
Right.
And I would be painting and putting under things on. Nobody wants to spend time anymore. People want a 5-minute
fast
face.
Right.
fix.
Okay.
And so we have had to learn to make products that were multi-use and make them so that like you could almost do it with your eyes closed and you'll still look better. I sort of have a tagline like no instructions are required because I want you to be able to do it and enjoy it and it be goof proof for you. So it's less makeup now. It really is.
Okay.
It's, you know, unless you're going to a black tie affair and you're really going to do a lot of things, people aren't spending the time anymore. They're just not going to.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Especially if they're going to the gym all the time and they're in sweatpants. The basic thing is the eye.
Yeah.
I think that's what I
So
see even on
important.
the
But then,
street.
like, when I go on a date, I do
that's
a
different.
full face.
Well, that's different.
Like, not like glam, but
Right.
still, like, all the products.
More than what you have?
A little, yeah. Like, I'm not wearing eyeliner or anything right now.
You don't have eyeliner on.
No. I just have shadow.
I don't know why you need to do it on your dates. It
You
looks
are a
perfect.
very lucky woman. That's all I'm
Yeah,
going to
she has
say.
great eyes. She does her eyes great.
No, and it's fun to do. Like I always,
I
one
have
of
so
my
much
tips.
fun.
Do you have fun doing
So
it?
She
much
loves it.
I never did, though, honestly, until watching videos on social. So I mean, I'm not a professional, but like I kind of know what I'm doing. Whereas before I was like grandma, where I'm like, okay, I didn't even know like bronzer and blush were like two different things.
I
Like,
know that.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So many women only use bronzer, and I always say, no,
No, you have
blush
to
is
use
different.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question for you. Do you sit or stand when you do your makeup?
I always stand unless I'm filming a video, because then I'll like sit at a vanity sometimes.
Well, I have to stand, and this is very cute because I can't see unless I'm looking in the magnifying glass. You know, that's with age. You're still good. Kimmy and I we went out to this wonderful spa in Watermill. And she was putting her makeup on because this was all for a brand. And I said, Kim, I can't put my makeup on here. There's no magnifying
they
mirror.
don't have magnifying.
Well, that's because they're not for older people in that room.
No, I don't think that's why. I think it's because it was a spa, and typically at a spa,
Maybe.
you're not
They
getting,
don't
you're
wear
not doing your
makeup.
makeup.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
true.
That's it.
Maybe, but they did.
You know, I was going to just say to both of you, my tip to you, but I know you do it when you're filming, is that you should be sitting when you do your makeup.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you should be buying an inexpensive Conair, 10 times on one side, regular on the other, and the mirror should be this close to you because you will get perfection out of your makeup if you're sitting and you're less rushed. And everything's closer to you, so you have more stability when you're doing your makeup. It's night and day. Well, you know, because you do sit.
You do it.
But I do it. I look in my phone camera as my mirror.
Oh.
So maybe that doesn't work.
Well, it works for what your needs are.
Yeah.
But when you're going out on a date and getting ready, you should probably find a place in your apartment. And I just bought a Conair mirror that's inexpensive that lights up.
QVC has a good one.
Oh, they do have a great
Yeah.
one. It's
I forgot
Perfect
what
Touch,
brand
I
it
think
is.
it's called.
I think I have
Maybe.
it.
You
I think
do.
I have it in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Human Touch.
I think I have it. Whatever it is, I
Yeah.
have it because I get.
I have
think
it for travel too.
I got it.
I take one that I travel
This one has
with.
a
Yeah.
stand. The one that we
Yeah.
got. Yeah, it's
But
very
I'm
good.
sure there's a bunch
Yeah,
wherever, but-
we actually sold that. last
We-
year.
Did you? A year or two ago. It
Yeah,
was one of our
that was one of
things,
our
but,
one of the things we did.
but that's a really great tip. I'm gonna try that and see
yeah,
if it
you-
turns out better.
You will be less rushed. You'll enjoy the process more, and you'll really get perfection out of the application. It's night and day because
Wow.
I see how women do it. They lean over into a mirror.
Right.
They don't have stability with their elbow. You know, you can lean your elbow and then do liner so your hands don't shake. There are little things.
Yeah. Wait, can I ask a crazy question, which you might not have an answer to? So all over my TikTok right now, people are like dermaplaning.
I do
and
it.
You do? Okay. Does your makeup, which is, it's like
What
when
is
you
that?
take,
It's a
when you use a
blade.
little blade or a little razor to take the peach fuzz off your face, and your makeup's supposed to kind of sit better.
But then
Yeah.
doesn't it grow back like a beard?
I don't
You know,
know.
it doesn't, but you become addicted because once you remove that peach fuzz,
Yeah.
you never want to see it again.
Don't do
I
this.
want to do it.
No.
No, you just buy it at home. And
It's
you just,
called the one I use is Derma Flash.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to tell you, I became a little addicted to it,
Okay.
and that's not good because they don't advise you doing it more than once a week.
Right.
And I kind of do it like almost every day.
Oh no, that's what happens. Don't do it.
But
Kimmy,
does your
you're
makeup, do you
perfect.
think your makeup looks better when you
I
do
do.
it?
You know, I do. I didn't grow up with good skin. I had acne skin as a child, but people will say to me like, "What are you using?" And I think it really helps my complexion.
Okay.
Because when you have peach fuzz and you try to put makeup on that, it's not going on smooth.
Right. Okay.
So, but just be careful.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
of
I'm going to
course.
say.
She hates when I try new things.
I'm going to kill you.
Like, what else does she?
Stop
She needs
watching
nothing.
those videos.
Well, the truth
except
is
for
you're
us.
right.
Except for us, stop watching the videos.
Tell us the things you see, but you don't need to do them.
No, exactly.
But I don't know. I like knowing about what's
You
out
can
there.
know
Good
it.
to know.
You can know it, but don't do it.
Yeah, you don't need a blade on your face.
Give Laura the question now. Give her the quiz.
Oh, I don't. I had a few more questions.
Oh, you do?
first.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay, we are a relationship podcast, so I want to ask a few questions before doing our quiz. And you've never seen you, so usually you say don't do the quiz, so I don't know why you're so excited about the quiz. So
You say don't do the quiz.
usually she's like it's dumb, and she
Well,
goes,
for certain people, there's no reason to ask the quiz for.
whatever, we're doing the quiz, but that's not what we're talking about. You're a mom.
Yeah.
Have you given dating advice to your son before, or like what's your relationship?
We're very close. I'm a single mom, and my son's 23. He'll be 24 this year. So I've been giving him dating advice as long as I can remember. And my mother, may she rest in peace, used to say to me, don't let anybody take advantage of him. He's the kind of kid that someone's going to come along and take advantage of. I know it.
Don't be the bad mother-in-law.
So I'm a little, he is in a relationship for a year and a half, and I'm
nice.
crazy about her,
Yay.
and she's going to hear this podcast because she's big fans of yours.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I'm
no,
so
big.
happy to hear.
Huge fans.
Good.
She's 24.
Okay.
So I have to be careful what I say, but she already knows that I said don't take advantage. I just, he's not a player, my kid, and he's not somebody.
That's a good guy.
He's a good guy, and
Okay.
I think this is a kid who's going to get married young.
I
so-
think most people are good guys.
Yeah.
It really they are. It's they might not be as exciting as the bad boy, but they are the ones
Hello.
that in the long run they just work their way.
Well,
it's
she
like a
said
turtle, and they get to the goal.
She
and
said that.
it's good.
She said she knew. She said I knew he was a little goofy and
Yeah, but that's
sorry,
good.
Daniel. But she said I also knew somebody was going to
Good
get him and be lucky, and so I wasn't going to let that happen. She said to me.
Well, she
I
was
like
smart,
that.
smart girl.
Yeah.
Smart girl.
Okay, now we can play our game.
Oh boy.
It's Kimmy's game.
Oh, you made this up?
Yeah. Another thing she did.
Oh, I love it.
So it's Grandma Gail's old-fashioned dating quiz. So
Okay.
through these hypotheticals, we'll see if you're more traditional or more modern in the way you think of
Okay.
dating and
Can you guess
relationships.
if you had a guess?
I guess sometimes. Yeah. Which way
She
it's gonna go.
always says that they're going to be more on your side of
Right,
traditional. I
right.
feel like you've never guessed modern. Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, well, I have certain ones, certain
I can't
guys.
tell with you just like
I think it's going to be
Okay.
half and half.
Yeah.
But all right,
Maybe.
keep going.
Okay,
Do
well,
the
It depends
test.
on the question.
Okay, would you rather call or text someone you're dating if it's just to say hi?
Cool.
Okay. Would you sleep with someone on the first date?
Not now.
But when you were younger.
Not now.
Okay.
Okay.
No, kidding. I
Yeah,
did
Right.
years ago.
No, of
Okay.
course.
So then we have all right.
Okay, but we're so not now. Okay, so no.
Half and half.
Half and half.
Dating
Yeah.
apps or setups?
That's a good question. I don't have the wherewithal for a dating app right now.
Okay.
So, did you ever hear of the Jewish Matchmaker, that TV
Yeah, of
show?
course.
Yes. Yes.
You
We're in
worked with her?
No, we're in touch.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
I'll tell you more
Yeah.
to be continued.
Oh,
Okay, that's
an-
exciting.
For me, I just don't want to put myself out on a dating app right now because I
Okay.
know what it's
Right,
like out
right.
there. It's hard. And
I will say, if you want any advice from me,
Yeah, I do.
um,
But how could I get advice from
Oh,
you?
because Kimmy's on
I
every
date-
every
No,
app
you're
in the
young.
world.
You're
She's
young.
a serial
yeah, but
dater.
I think like dating's pretty similar for no matter what age
Okay,
you
so-
are. I mean, obviously there's differences, but I was just gonna say like I wouldn't just do dating apps or just wait for someone to set you up. Like I think it's nice to do everything because it kind of is a numbers game. Like you just need one, but I think it's nice to have the bigger pool of people to choose from. So just doing all of it.
But I also think, Kim, as you age and you have a family, you have to be a little more protected about yourself. And in Laura's case, it would be, it's hard to go on a dating app. First of all, you don't want to expose all of your personal business
It's true.
issues and, a lot of stuff. That's
Don't
why.
say your business issues on a dating app.
Oh, they don't
Oh,
ask?
They don't ask anything about what
They
you
don't
do
ask
for a
what you do
living
for a
or-
living?
You could, so it depends on the
That's
app. Like
interesting. I
on
didn't realize
Raya,
that.
for instance, you literally just have my pictures and my Instagram, like
Okay.
nothing else.
Oh.
If you're on Hinge, you can choose whatever prompts. You can choose for it to say your like you can put founder. Like you don't have
Maybe
to say
I need
what.
you to sit down and help me create
I 100% will
profile.
any day you want.
because I'm going to tell you
All
the
right,
truth.
okay.
Raya offered me a free membership.
Good.
So last summer for kicks and giggles,
Yeah.
I did it but I must not have done it right because not only did nobody swipe, but I realized the song I put on was, my son said, "What were you thinking?"
What song?
It's probably
I
something
can
from-
buy myself flowers.
Oh, Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, but it's like saying, I don't need you to. I wasn't. I happened to like the song, so I picked it. He's like, you didn't do the right thing, and
He's
everybody.
got to help you.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, everybody was younger than me.
Well,
and
that's the problem.
you can
And
set
that
your
is-
age.
I didn't see that.
Okay, we need to talk.
Oh,
All
help.
right. All right. Kimmy's very good at this.
Okay, good.
We'll do it later because
Have you ever set up a 65-year-old? Mm-hmm. No.
no, but like I have plenty of friends' parents who are single.
Okay.
Like, I can. We'll think. I'll brainstorm for you. Okay, next one. Would you move in together before getting engaged or married?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I
How do
think
you
have
know
to.
about somebody? I mean, if I see bad habits, I'm not sure I'd want to marry them. Yeah. No.
Okay. And who should pay for the date? Should it be one person in the relationship, or should you alternate split?
Well, I'm a very generous person, but I am old school.
Yeah.
And I grew up with a father who paid for everybody, and
No matter what.
no matter what. And nobody went in their pocket when you were with my father. So I do think a man should pay, but I think if I'm going out with them for a long time, I'm often going to ask,
Yeah,
let me
offer.
do this, please.
Yeah, right.
Let me take you
Yeah.
out, you know. So, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the way that works.
Well, Laura's more of a traditional dater, which we knew she would be.
Yeah.
We knew she
You
would
Little
guessed
be.
bit
that. You
So,
guessed that.
well, I guess
Yeah.
that, but it doesn't matter. You can. We've had young guys on the program that absolutely are traditional daters. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It really is just your mindset. It's
Yeah,
neither a right
100%.
or wrong, or
100%.
there's no right answer.
That's
So-
correct. That's correct. There's no right. Those are good questions.
Thank you.
Those are really good
Thanks,
questions.
Laura. You've been so fun. Thank you for being
you
here
for
today.
having
Tell
me.
everyone how they can find your products, buy, follow you.
Laura Geller Beauty is our fan page, but then mine, who my son always says, you're never going to get a following because the way you post, because obviously I'm not doing it right, is Laura J. Geller on Instagram.
Okay.
And so hopefully, hopefully I'll get one more new follower.
You will. You will.
Amazing. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much
Thank you for having
coming.
me. This was such a delight.